Hey everybody, Michael Cunman here, coming to you today from Perth Golf Centre and of course the beautiful Western Australian Golf Club. Now this is my first video on putting and I can't wait to help you stop your three putting, because pretty much most of the golfers that come into me, the first thing they say, especially when they're struggling with putting, is either they're struggling with short putts or they're struggling with three putting. And one of the easiest ways to lower your strokes per round and putts per round is to try and cut out those three putts. So today we're not going to talk about technique, we're not going to touch on that. We're going to do some videos going forward in the future that are going to address that, get into your setup and stroke and everything like that. But I'm going to give you two very simple drills to do on any putting green, which is going to give you the best chance to stop three putting straight away. So let's get into it. As we were saying before, we're going to help stop you three putting. So we've got two very simple drills to do. One is based upon lag putting, because a lot of people really struggle with distance control. If we can work on our lag putting and get that golf ball closer, it's going to give us the best opportunity to get that golf ball in the hole in one or two putts. And then we're going to work on a nice little drill that's closer to the hole to work on those short putts as well. So this first drill, you would notice there's going to be a little bit of an overlay going forward here of how I've set it up. We aren't actually putting to a golf hole. And the reason for that is because it takes that whole kind of notion of trying to get the golf ball into the hole versus trying to get it a certain distance. Distance control is much more important than direction when it comes to lag putting, for the most part anyway. If we can get it relatively kind of pin high when we do our lag putting versus getting it in the exact right direction, we're going to give us the best chance to, of course, knock it in two. So what we've done here, as I said, we've taken away the hole and we've marked a little line there. You can use tees, you can use two clubs, whatever you want to do. And as you'll notice that I did 2 paces away from the fringe of the green. If you want to make this harder, you could do 1 pace, but I normally like that 2 paces to start with. And then from there, I've paced back 5 and I've put a little cone down. You can put a tee, whatever again, and then I've done another 5 paces, put another cone down, and I've done another 5 paces and another as well. So these are stations that you're going to try and work through by working on your lag putting. Now, I will put some notes underneath this video of how you can make this either easier or more difficult for yourself, because everyone's at different levels with putting. Some people that are higher handicappers would find this extremely different to start with, and then some people that are lower handicappers might go, oh, it's a little bit easier. So we can always make it more challenging depending on your level. So today, what I'm doing is basically starting off with 4 golf balls. The whole premise is this is to me to putt and try and get, I'm going to make it a little bit harder on myself today, 4 in a row in that zone. If I get 4 in a row, I get to move back to level 2. So let's give it a crack. One of the best things about this drill is it really takes out the feeling of putting to an actual hole. So that stress that some people feel when they see this little kind of round circle and they're trying to get it close, it kind of just dissipates, it just goes away, because all I'm trying to do is I see that nice little gap there and I'm just trying to get it in that little area. And as you can see there, that's 3 in a row. See if I can get my 4th. Bang. 4 in a row. And as you see, pretty simple. It's not too difficult to start with. Some people might find it hard, as I was mentioning, but depending on your level, depending on how hard it is. So I've done that, beautiful. Let's move back to level 2. Level 2 now, a little bit more difficult, as we were mentioning. It's a little bit further away. Now, as I was saying before, I'm going to put notes down the bottom how you can make this harder. Easiest way to make it more difficult on yourself is to put pressure. Now, what I mean by that is I completed level 1, I get to move to level 2. If I don't complete level 2, I have to move back to level 1. So you're constantly going back and forth to try and make sure that you get it right. And that's what we want to try and simulate. We want to try and simulate some of that on-course style pressure. So I'm having a look at that target, rolling it over, get up. Ooh, that was close. So we'll do another one here. Should be a little bit better. Oh, I've actually knocked that a little bit too far. There you go. So straight away there, I've actually pushed that a little bit over the fringe there, a little bit too far. So what I do now, again, because of my level and how difficult I want to make it, I would pick up these 2 golf balls. I would go pick up those 2, and I'm going to jump straight back onto level 1 there. So that means I need to work on my lag putting. And your goal is to try and get back as far as you possibly can, take out the premise of that golf hole as I was mentioning, and if you can get very good at this, you are going to be so good at lag putting in the future. Best thing you can do as well is you can try this on different greens. So you've got your home course, you're going to get used to it, you're going to start to understand how that rolls, how fast things are. Try do this at different courses if you can, to try and get the understanding of different speeds of greens, because that is where you're going to really challenge yourself and you're going to get some really, really drastic improvements as well. So once you've done this, I would suggest doing it for 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever you can really. Once you've done this, we're going to go on to the next one, which is a round the world drill. You've probably seen it before. It's one of my favorites to help improve those short putts. So we've completed the lag putting station. Hopefully that's going to help improve your lag putting as we were talking about. You've challenged yourself for a period of time. I would normally spend half your time on that. Come over here, you're going to get this set up. You're going to see some overlays of me setting this up. Nice and simple to do. Basically, all I've done is I've measured out from the putter head to the base of my grip, again, depending on the length of your putter, but it gives you a really good kind of consistent setup position for this drill. I would always suggest trying to get it where you can actually get 4 different breaks. Uphill, downhill, left to right, and a right to left. It's a really, really good way to challenge yourself. So what we're going to do here is we're going to set up, we've got 4 golf balls on the inside. Our goal is to try and get around all 8 stations without missing a putt. So I'm going to putt, work around, and once I've done all 4 of that, I'm going to take those golf balls out and I'm going to put them on the outside sections and see if I can hole 4 in a row there. And as I was mentioning before, especially with that lag putting stations, there's always ways to make it either more easier or to make it more difficult depending on your level. So we're going to start off here. We're going to get nice and comfortable. We're going to see if we can kind of knock some of these in. Bang, there's 1, 2. I'm going to work around this way because Blair's got his camera over there. That was a little close. Now, one thing I would suggest, I'm not doing it today, but if you can, I would suggest doing a little bit of a routine if possible. And the reason why I say that is because we want to try and simulate as much on-course pressure as we can and as much as what you do in the on-course aspect. If you're just here like I'm doing and just kind of belting it, I'm only doing that because I'm showing you how this drill works, you're probably not going to get the maximum benefit out of it. If you do need to, as you can see here, that tee's a little bit in my way, you can just move it to the side. So now we've got a little bit longer. I've got 4 in a row. My goal is to try and make 8 in a row if I can. Okay, there we are. Even though I'm starting to feel a little bit of pressure here, which is good. It's what we want to feel. And a little bit of break there, a little left to right at the end there. So again, I didn't realize that that was going to break that much. What I would do then, because I really want to challenge myself, is I would get those golf balls out. I'm going to put them back on the inside track and I'm going to start again. My goal is to try and work my way around, trying to get 8 putts in a row. And as I said, if you want to make this more difficult, you could add more tees. So you could actually add another 4 on the inside and another 4 on the outside. After a little water delay, we are back. Now, as I was saying, we could put extra tees in there. We could even add additional golf balls. And what I mean by that is you maybe need to hole 2 in a row from each station. As I said, I'm going to give you a list of details in that description to understand different ways to make it more challenging depending on your skill level. And if you can work on these 2 separate drills, our lag putting drill, just trying to get it into a certain zone, and then this round the world drill and get really, really comfortable with it, you are going to be well on your way to pretty much eliminating your 3 putts. And it is such an easy way, as I mentioned at the start, to help reduce your scores and to give you some confidence walking onto that next key. Hopefully that helped. Hopefully it gave you a little bit of insight into some great little drills that I do with a lot of clients to help stop their 3 putting. And as I was saying, going forward, we're going to be producing a lot more content on putting. We're going to be showing you different technical things, how to improve your stroke and your setup. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below, and thank you very much for watching.